Today I'm going to show you how I turned these pieces into these. I really wanted these pieces to have more of a ceramic look, so I did a bunch of Google searching, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and this is the method I settled on. Super easy to do, so let's get right into it. When you're picking your pieces, just try and look past its actual aesthetic and focus on the shape, because that's what you're gonna have in the end in whatever color you like. These pieces I already had at home and just haven't been using them because I just don't like the way they look, but I really like the shape of both of them. And then I went thrifting to find a couple more pieces that I'd like to work on. So to do this project, you're gonna need some paints. You're also gonna need paint brushes, some baking soda, and some masking tape if you wanna do one that looks like this little arched piece. Unless you're really good at freehand, which I am not. Before you get started, just make sure your pieces are all nice and clean. You wanna mix your paint in a ratio of about 1:1 baking soda and paint. You want it to be fairly thick like this. Put a nice even coat on the outside. You also want to get the top part of the inside. You may find the pieces that are narrow at the top that you don't need to actually paint them on the inside. You'll need to do at least 2 coats to get even coverage. This one I'm going to do this peachy rosy color. If you like a nice even layer of paint, I suggest doing thin coats and letting them dry completely in between each coat. This one I'm going to do with this beautiful linen color. This is what can happen if you have too much baking soda in your mixture or if you go over a section before it's completely dry. I'm hoping this is going to smooth out in the next coat. There's a happy medium amount and you will figure this out as you go. Something you can do if you're finding your paint has gone on a bit lumpy is just take the tiniest little bit of water on your brush and smooth it over the area, and you might be able to smooth it out a bit. This one I'm going to do with white paint, and then I'm going to paint arches on it. So for this one with the arches, I made these little shapes in Canva so I could test out how they're gonna look on my piece. That one I think is too big. I think this is the layout that I'm liking. I'm using a protractor to make the arc. Drawing a line didn't work, it started to lift the paint right away, so I'm just doing little dots to mark the outline. I'm using the 6mm masking tape to outline the shape because I'm not very good at freehand at all. I'm doing a layer of white paint first to try and prevent bleeding underneath of the tape. Once it's dry, I'm going to apply my color. So now that I've pulled up the tape, I see that I didn't cover up the pencil marks, so I'm going to try the freehand. This process takes a little while because you can only work one color at a time and you have to wait for it to dry before you can apply the next color. So now this is what all my pieces look like. All in all, I'm really happy with this process. I really like the texture that these pieces have now. They're all revamped. They all look nice and modern and suit my space so much better than the pieces did before. So if you watch my channel, you know that typically I just do macrame projects, but I really love doing all kinds of things around the house, so I thought I'd start branching out a little and doing some other DIY projects. I hope you have fun with it.